Hi, I'm Luke Pritchard and thanks for watching Music News.
Luke Pritchard, great to meet you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very good. This is the start of a new chapter for the band and going back to some of the roots. Indie Club, how cool.
Yeah, we're here at the Notting Hill Art Club, the Kooks Indie Club Night,
Exactly.
and the big announcement of the new album.
Yes, never know.
Yes.
It's called Never Know, and you really do never know when life's going to change. Got to keep the hope, keep the faith. It's a positive record.
Yeah.
And a romantic record, and we're just, it's coming out in May at some point. Yeah.
May 9th, yeah.
May 9th, well done.
I had a listen today. It is a very feel-good album. I really enjoyed it. Where did you sort of draw inspiration from?
Well, I mean, I went back to the guitar, and I've been writing with a lot of people, like producers and stuff, and I realised I sort of had lost my identity a little bit, so I went back to some of my earlier roots, like The Police. Heavy influence on the record, a lot of soul music. The Police, the band, The Police,
I heard that, yeah.
Which is like we had that on the first round of music we did, and I really was just rediscovering my own identity through my original roots, and so I guess that kind of like rock and roll really. I mean, it's a guitar record. There's no tricks. It's stripped back and mainly my family, just being around my family. And then being around while I was writing it.
I was going to mention The Police, Tough at the Top. Yeah. That sort of definitely had a couple of hits of The Police in there.
Tough at the Top is like The Police / The Weeknd. The chorus go right up to the falsetto. I hope that one's got a lot of energy.
Definitely, I loved it. And I was at the Isle of Wight when you played just before The Police.
We did, yeah.
That was
amazing.
A great gig.
That was really great. Actually, Stuart Copeland came into our dressing room to give us some words of encouragement, which was, we were all dying of nervousness to meet the great man, and they just reformed, I think. It was pretty early on. And that was a real highlight of our career, actually.
Really?
Playing,
and
they were such a massive influence on the band.
Yeah. And they played a great set as well that day.
Yeah, it was very good.
I mean, where else were you sort of putting inspiration from then?
What, for the new album in general? I mean, listen, there's a Wings cover on there, and I was listening to. I'd sort of always had Wings around, but I've been listening to a lot of that, and it almost had some kind of, almost like Duke Ellington-y kind of undertones and like jazzy, and so there's a bit of that going on. I listen to a lot of jazz now. I don't know if it's a thing. I heard it's a thing with singers, that you get to this point, maybe after you've done it for 20 years, that you don't want to hear music with words or singing it. So there's a bit of that going on. And
maybe for the next album.
Maybe for the next album, instrumental, exactly. I'd be out of a job though, wouldn't I, really? But there was a lot of music around, but I think, like I said, really I was influenced by my own story, my own life, and then there's the songs then you can take in any direction, and we chose different styles on the songs and musical direction, but the biggest inspiration was just thinking about how I come through so much, and a lot of the songs have that kind of message of getting through something and seeing the positive side, and
I mean,
somehow making it.
Well, you certainly did. I mean, you came out sort of out of the box fighting on the first album. I was lucky enough to see loads of those gigs at the time. Great, brilliant live straight away. I mean, do you still get as much sort of fun and encouragement from the crowd as you did back then?
I mean, it's just grown and grown. I think that what's amazing is then the new audience comes in who discover your music, and they were kids when you put it out, or not even born sometimes. And so that's the beautiful thing about music. It sort of transcends time in a way. I think our crowds are just as energetic, for sure.
And we're trying to get back to that sort of, to the roots of that sort of, the start, as it were, slightly on this.
I was trying to get back to impulsive rock and roll, and I think that was in the kind of the whole way that I wanted to make the record. I decided to produce it myself. I asked the guys if they wanted to come along with that, and everyone was really excited because we kind of went, we need to go back to debutism. What is why do debut records sound so cool? And most of the reason is because it's impulsive, and you actually don't know what you're doing a lot of the time. And I think that was something to rediscover, because it's kind of like Bowie said it. I quote Bowie slightly, his way he was saying you never want to be too comfortable. You always want to feel like your toes aren't quite touching the bottom of the swimming pool. And I think that was a bit of it. It was like first time producing it, and just not having any kind of tricks, and just having to rely on the songs.
Yeah, I mean, was that that process of producing? Is that something that you enjoyed?
I loved it. Yeah, it was really cool. It's quite hard work.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't know,
because you got to do the budgets, and you got to do. I enjoyed it because I spent half the budget on old guitar amps, Selmas, and I think that was cool. But it was good. I think it's just a mentality thing, production, to me. It's like ideas and a direction. I think the most important thing with an album is to have a really clear vision, and I think that's great when people like Ray Davies he always produces his own records, and it doesn't always work, but I think when you can have the person who wrote the songs who produces, sometimes it can be really magic, because you get that pure direction, and I think we kind of got that on this record, hopefully.
Has your songwriting process changed over the years, or?
Back and forth, that's what I'm saying. I really embraced. So I mean, in the early days, it would be just guitar, and the way I used to write was I would write something, and if I remembered it the next day, I'd use it, and I used to be around people that I would play in parties, and if people liked a song, and that was the kind of process. And then I really embraced the new ways, which was that you collaborated more and writing with producers, and then you can have everything sound very good quite immediately. And that changes the songwriting process, because all of a sudden you don't come in and you go, here's a little verse chorus, and we've got to let's try and make it sound good. It's like the producers are so cool and so good, it's just everything's there. It sounds like a record before you've even finished writing the song. So I really embraced that. I learned a lot, and then like I said, I kind of went back. I went, you know what? I'm just gonna go and try and take the tricks away. Like I said, or not even tricks, but just get back to melody, chords, and lyrics, of course.
Yeah, the melodies came across. I mean, the backing came across really beautifully as well. There's all sort of warm harmonies there.
Yeah, Frida and her friends, they're amazing. We were very lucky to work with those guys, and I think they enjoyed it too. It was really cool. I wanted to the girls to represent some of the themes on the album, and brought a bit of kind of community energy to the record, a bit of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful, I think, as a band with that, because we are a band, we're a rock band. But I think it was really cool. And it's like Sunny Baby. I loved it when we were mixing it. Dave Bascom, I just said to him, I just want bold, right? And he sent the mix, and I used the first mix, because the backing vocals are so loud.
Yeah.
And I was listening to all these Sam Cooke records, and it's like the BVs are just there. You can hear what their individual voices sound like, and I really loved that he did that, and that's what I love about that record, because so many times when you do harmonies, they become like a pad, almost like a synthy thing, back there.
Yeah.
And that's not the soul thing. The soul thing was everything is there and present. I really like that. Yeah.
Excellent. I know you saw A Complete Unknown.
Oh, I did, yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. What do you think?
I thought it was the greatest biopic of all time, but then I'm a huge Dylan fan. I kind of wish they'd do part 2, part 3, part 4.
Well, exactly. I was going to ask you. I mean, you've always had a sort of passing resemblance to Dylan, so in his younger years.
Yeah.
And if that was a part 2, would you be up for it?
Well, yeah, I could play the older Dylan. I'm a crap actor, but if they can help me with that, I've always appreciated the potential resemblance, and he's one of my heroes. So maybe I don't know, metaphysically, maybe I just sort of like made myself more look like him. But I thought it was a brilliant film. I thought it was delivered exceptionally. I think Timothée Chalamet is the real deal. After seeing that film, because he doesn't look anything like Dylan. I don't think. I think he looks nothing like Dylan.
As well.
And some of the mannerisms, particularly, that is like amazing when you see like a proper movie star who's like he looks like a movie star, acts like a movie star, but he's got the chops. Like his acting was, and he sang the songs. Pretty damn good. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
And other heroes that you look up to these days?
I like my guys are like Ray Davies and Lou Reed. Buddy Holly is one of my all-time greats. I don't know if you hear my music, if anyone would hear it, but the simplicity and the way he was like kind of the original singer-songwriter almost, in the way he kind of delivered very, it was very romantic, that's why it was like romantic rock and roll. I always wanted to do that. It's like there's a real sweetness to Buddy Holly records that I've always really admired. We lost him too young. It's really sad. He's one of the saddest ever. How old was he? I don't know, 20, in his 20s.
I can't remember now. Tonight we're going to hear a few of the new stuff then. First time. First time. Well, actually, we've been playing Sunny Baby. Which is one of the songs off the record that I was talking about. We played Sunny Baby quite a lot over the summer, which was cool. People got into it, which is, you never know. And that's the other song, Never Know. So we are going to, but the Never Know, and I think we'll do If They Could Only Know, which is kind of a cool song. That's about, I lost my dad when I was really young, and my gran, a few years ago, just like, if they could just see that, what was going on. It's people seem to resonate with that song that I played it to. So we'll see. So very exciting to play it and strip back as well. Absolutely looking forward to it. Listen, thanks a lot for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. But for somebody, if there is somebody out there that hasn't heard of the Kooks, what 3 songs would you say out of the whole sort of repertoire? Check these out. Wow. They sort of sum us up as a band.
Okay, 3 songs to start the Kooks would be See Me Now, Ooh La, and You Don't Love Me. Brilliant. Off the top of my head.
Anything else to say to Music News watchers out there?
Hey, check us out, and thank you for having me, and have a great winter.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.